Bajabe, nama buka keba, orang tambah Jabe. Yang di bawah dibuka, ia baru tambah Jabe punya pemenang, baru boleh. Alhamdulillah, jangan kapa kata jadi kedua jamaah ke. Dua jamaah tunggu motornya. Tapi dia motor amal dia motor.
Yes, very fine. Oh, that's alhamdulillah.
Sajane bakau saya nyempunya di babola kata dia nak kau kopi amu farabadi oleh di kombo
Ego. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you and congratulations, Ari, once again. I will now call on the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, Mr. Bakari Y. Baji, to give a statement. You're welcome, Honorable Bakari Y. Baji.
Good afternoon, and thank you to the Master of Ceremony, our brother, Mr. Tamba, the Governor of the West Coast region, Honorable Usman Boja, the Deputy Permanent Secretary from the Ministry of Youth and Sports, Mr. Musambay, and the directors, the Department of Youth and Sports, and the President International Award, the President of the Gambian Dutch Lion Football Club, Mr. Eric Fezer, and the CEO of the Gambia Dutch Lion, our brother, Mr. Kemo Sise, and the Vice President or the first Vice President of the Gambia Football Federation, Mr. Bakri Jame, and the General Secretary, and all the senior staff of the Football Federation, the President of the West Coast Regional Football Association, the National Assembly member for Busumbala, and all the other dignitaries that are invited and present here. Of course, our elders from the Combo East and from Faraba specifically, the Chief of Combo East, the Alcalo, represented here by my own dad, Mr. Fansu Conte, and all the other elders that are present, the other Alcalo, who is my uncle, Mr. Kemo Poli, and everyone else that is here, our invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, representative of all the divisional clubs and everyone else that is here. It's good to be here, and it's an afternoon and it's hot now, so I wouldn't really want to keep calling names, but we want to extend our greetings to each one of you that have made time this morning to be here in Faraba. I want to start by reiterating that today we are indeed very proud to join the Gambian Dutch Lion leadership and the football fraternity, but also to join the people of Faraba in inaugurating and officially opening this very important and beautiful edifice of Dutch Lion, which they have constructed here in the village of Faraba in the West Coast region. And like Governor said earlier, I did tease him before when we came to the university opening by His Excellency, and this morning, that West Coast is indeed taking every good thing that we had in the West Coast, in KM, And we are proud of that. I teased him to say, you should forgive us and allow some facilities to be in Combo, in Serakuna, But we are proud that West Coast is, as well as other regions, are getting these important facilities. And proud because development is supposed to be truly decentralized. And there's nowhere in the advanced world where you see development concentrated in one region or two. It is moving interior into the interior part so as to push people to go towards that area. And we are glad that Dutch Lion have joined the bandwagon of institutions and organizations that are developing infrastructure outside the Greater Banjul area. But for football, we are prouder because as a sport family, we believe that just like any other development, football and sports in general is supposed to be decentralized, but that decentralization cannot happen if the infrastructure development is only concentrated in one part of the Gambia. So we want to congratulate the Gambian Dutch Lion for having the foresight and the initiative to bring their football complex here to Combo East, specifically in the village of Farawa. And I am proud because, like the former chief said, the one representing the Alcalo here, who is the head of the Council of Elders, I have a family and historical ties to this very village of Faraba. So this complex is not just for Faraba alone, but for every other person, a descendant or anyone who has that connection with Faraba. We are proud to have this complex here. Ladies and gentlemen, it is gratifying to see that more and more clubs are taking the responsibility to develop their own football fields. This is a good way as we all strive towards making sports not just an activity for leisure, but an industry which is developed to benefit the young people and the economy of this country. Dutch Lion joins the family of those initial clubs that have had their facilities, and we want them to serve as an inspiration to other clubs that football cannot be developed if we don't have the infrastructure. In fact, some people argue that the very foundation of sports development is the creation and availability of an infrastructure that is very standard, because it is through those infrastructure that talent can be developed and the skills of young people can be harnessed, and it is through those infrastructure that young professionals can be developed, whom Gambia can be proud of to play for not just their league or their national team, but also to be able to export them as expatriates who are playing professional football outside the Gambia. We therefore want to sincerely, on behalf of the ministry and by extension the government of the Gambia, to appreciate the president of Dutch Lion, Mr. Eri, and his partner, the CEO, Mr. Kemo Sise, for doing this partnership and embarking on this project under 3 years. I can recall that about 3 years or maybe less than that, I was met at the Kairaba Beach Hotel by Mr. Kemo Sise and Mr. Eri. At the time, they just newly started the partnership. And Mr. Eri did make a promise that he is not just interested in taking footballers out of the country, but he is interested in investing in the infrastructure development of those very players that will be moving out of the Gambia. And we have seen today that that dream, that promise that was made less than 3 years ago is today being realized with the opening of this complex here in Faraba. So once again, Mr. Eri and your family, not just does Dutch Lion appreciate you, but you can be sure that the people of Faraba, they have already demonstrated it with giving you the honorary citizenship. The people of the Gambia also appreciate you because Gambia is a country that loves football. It is a country where football is one of those major activities that unifies us across tribe, across political divide, and across religion and regional divides. As a government, we will continue to provide the necessary environment for more and more clubs to operate in the country. And this is in line with our new sport policy that prioritizes sports infrastructure development. To the members of the Dutch Lion Club, we hope that you will take this facility as your own and make best use of it by ensuring that you care and manage it in a proper way. We have been known to be not so good managers of infrastructure, but we hope that this complex would be different. That is a task that not just those who develop it have, but those that will be playing here, those that will be coming here for meetings, and other clubs that will be using the facility. We do not want to come back in a year or two and look the facility, see the facility deteriorated. That would be a disappointment, not just for our guests, but for the investors that are looking forward to doing more projects in the country. And I want to conclude by reiterating that for us as a government, under the leadership of His Excellency President Barrow, our role as a government is to create the environment, is to create the policy, and ensure that the regulations are in line and favors both players and investors, including club owners. That's the reason why we are in the process of taking the country's sports bill to the Parliament, the National Assembly, for approval. The sports bill will not just support us in the management of full sports, but create a good working relationship between athletes, club owners, and the associations that manage it. That sport bill as well calls for the creation of a special sport fund for the development of infrastructure and the support of our national teams. That process is ongoing, and we look forward to its successful completion this year, of course, 2026. Ladies and gentlemen, I will want to end here by saying something special, not part of my speech, but it's important. That a few years ago, we know what used to happen in the relationship between the governments, the federations, the associations, in terms of the fights, in terms of the banning, in terms of the dissolution. But under our leadership and under the leadership of His Excellency President Barrow, we have taken a pledge that yes, we have a regulatory responsibility and we will continue to do that. But we believe that for sports to grow, the fight needs to end, the struggle for power needs to end, and that is the policy that we have implemented. And that is the reason why in recent years we've seen the growth of football and all kinds of sports across the divide, with more footballers leaving the country for abroad, with the federation being able to operate independently, of course being held accountable as much as we can by ourselves and by our associations. But we've seen confidence in the people that are interested in investing in sports, because no one wants to invest in a country where there is instability when it comes to the relationship between the government and the sports stakeholders. But this has been criticized by many who think it was a soft approach that government is taking. But no, it was a deliberate attempt to ensure that we liberalize the sector and allow the stakeholders to take charge and take lead and develop the confidence of the investors. And we are proud to see people coming in many numbers to put their money in developing the infrastructure of sports. And we call on more investors to come in. This might not be premature to announce, but government have already taken the initiative to make sports one of those sectors that will qualify for special investment certificate, in which case, if you invest to a certain level, you would not be tasked and you'll be giving all the incentives that you need, including GT waivers, to bring in the equipment that you need to develop your infrastructure. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is a struggle, but it's a struggle that we all believe in. And if we all buy into the idea, we should all be able to support it and make it work. I didn't want to make a long speech, and probably it's becoming long now, but I want to end here by making this announcement on behalf of the owners of this complex. I've been told, and of course Mr. Eric did say that earlier, that his wife passed away a year ago. So he has, in memory of that wife, decided that this place would be named Damfi Memorial Football Complex. So as we officially unveil this place, and if you look opposite us over there, you would see the name of the complex. It's called Damfi Memorial Football Complex. And on my own behalf, on behalf of the governor of the West Coast region, in whose region this complex is, and on behalf of the government, we wish to declare the Damfi Memorial Football Complex officially open and wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports, Honorable Bakari Waibaji, for a wonderful, wonderful speech. And from now on, everybody in the Gambia, Africa, and around the world, this is Team Peace Memorial Football Complex. And to tell you a little bit of history about this, the first goal to be scored in this complex, we have already started playing first division games here, you know. I'll come to that. But the first goal that was scored when a game was played here was courtesy of CEO Sam Abdul Sise. And the minister will now cut the ribbon and we will go inside. But the first official league goal that was scored at Dimfis Memorial Football Complex was scored by the Gambian Touch Lions forward, Jibril Simon. And it was assisted by Samban John, the club's only Ferrari. And now, Batia, get set and give us some background music as we go in to see what we have inside. The minister will cut the ribbon together with the president, Harry Clevers, and we also have Kebo Sise John, Mr. Bakari Jame. We also have all the other presidents, Bakari Bojan West Coast. We also recognize the presence of the president of the Women's Football Sebu. We also have the team manager of the school, Mr. Chudrai, and a lot of other dignitaries. Now we are going in. Let's go and see what we have inside Dimfis Memorial Football Complex. I tell you, nothing like this. This is really magnificent. This is a historic day. 17th of January 2026 is a historic day. But yeah, I hand it over to you.
Alhamdulillah, mo keme mo jaga ya besam. Yo cameraman. Ina minister ni. Sebo fela balaja. Komo no fela jam. Lamin Jas. Jasi. Alam Lamin Jasi. Saya besulu. Terus kai. Wallahi. Saya dunia berenya bala. Dunia berenya bala. Kau mengenai ni film yang berenya bala. Or anak bola kita nak bola. Aja. Semua nak hari ni. Anak bola kita nak bola. Dasar. Na presiden bah, former bijan ni dia ada presiden bijan ni. Ada presiden ada minister bijan ni. Ibulo. Presiden ada minister bijan ni. Na sebo bijan ni. Governor bijan ni. Dasar ini para bala imam bah bijan. Para bala alfa bah bijan. Ada tu kalau imam Madawi. Imam Madawi. Yes. Okay. Wallahi itu ada barang ada kono. Yes, al-numbar. Aye. Ama tama juga nama aku babu. Ya, mau kata apa? Bisa sampai 4%. Bawa kono, maklunya nggak bawa. Bisa. Lembar. Keras kita. Kita bergerak. Kurang. Cewek. Namu ada kan pernah ini dalam Yunnan. Iya. Ada pernah ini kapan? Apa? Kan nela apa?
Hello?